Hello guys, so today we will be doing our laws of motion. Previously we have already completed the first part of motion, that is we have studied about different types of force. Now the question has come, why are we studying the laws of motion and what has motion got to do with force, and why do we study force? So as you know, we are going to study about laws of motion. That means we have to know how this motion is occurring. So definitely when there is motion, so we need to know what is the cause of motion. What is the cause of motion? Okay, so I have asked you a question, what is the cause of motion? At this moment definitely everybody of you is thinking about force, right? Everybody of you thinking about force with a little bit of question marks in your mind. No problems guys, most of you are correct, at least partially correct. How it is? Let's see. Let's take first case. Suppose there is a body which is at rest, that is velocity is equal to 0. I want to start to get it moving. So to start a motion, definitely yes, you are correct, you have to give force. Number two is to keep a body visible, to keep a body moving with constant velocity. To keep a body moving with constant velocity. If I have to keep a body moving with constant velocity, एक ये देखो चौक मूव कर रहा है, तो कंटिन्यूअस मेरे को फोर्स देना पड़ रहा है कि नहीं देना पड़ रहा है? देना पड़ रहा है. आई हैव टू गिव कांस्टेंट फोर्स टू दिस चौक टू कीप इट मूविंग. ठीक है, सो फॉर दिस डू आई नीड force? Do I need force for this? Come on guys. Yes, I should need force. Now there was a person called Galileo who watched this thing that you are, or who is watching this thing that you are thinking, that to keep a body moving with constant velocity you need force. Correct? Everybody agrees? Now the problem is, suppose this chalk is moving in this board, I have to give some force. Now I make this board completely oily, completely with oil. I have put all the oils over this board. So this board will now become slippery. है कि नहीं? ठीक है, slippery. So at that moment when the board has become slippery, I need not give that much amount of force. Now what I have to give now? Clear? So what is changing? While you put the oil into this board, what is changing? The friction is reducing, right? So what Galileo was thinking? Putting oil and making surface smooth, right? Smooth, or you can write slippery. Force required decreases. ठीक है ना? So definitely if I continuously put oil and make the surface smooth and smoothest, the force is going to reduced. So definitely what it is doing? It is reducing the force of friction. So if I neglect friction, there is no friction, then to keep a body moving with constant velocity I don't need any force, right? suppose say a body was moving with a velocity of 2 meter per second, okay, in a surface whose force of friction was say 2 Newton. Now I put some oil, it becomes 1.5 Newton, okay. Then I put some other thing to make it more smooth, it becomes 0.5 Newton. So continuously the force of friction is reducing, okay. So to keep this body moving with constant velocity, I just have to overcome the friction of the floor, okay, friction of the floor. So to do that, first time I have to give a force of 2 Newton, next 1.5 Newton, next 0.5 Newton. If somehow I make this force of friction as 0 Newton, then I don't have to give any force, 0 Newton. So to keep a body moving with constant velocity, you don't need any force. It was wrong, okay. To start the motion you need, okay. But to keep a body moving with a constant velocity in a frictionless surface, you don't need any force, okay. You don't need any force. Please write it this way: if no other force like friction or any other force is acting, if no other force like friction or any other opposing force is acting, then there is no force required to keep a body moving with constant velocity, okay. Can I rub this? So friction nahi to no extra force required to keep a body moving with constant velocity. Clear? Now this was said by Galileo, and we can recall this as Galileo's law of inertia. Please write down the law. I am not writing it again. Please write down the law. Galileo's law of inertia. Object once set in motion, object once set in motion moves with uniform velocity if no force acts on it. Object once set in motion moves with uniform velocity if no force acts on it. Clear? This is Galileo's law of inertia. Okay. So now we are going to study Newton's first law of motion. Very important. Each and every word here is very important. I will just show you. See, if a body, Newton's first law we are writing, if a body is in state of rest, if a body is in state of rest, it will remain, please put a comma there, it will remain in state of rest, it will remain in state of rest, and if it is in state of motion, if it is in state of motion, it will remain moving in the same direction with same speed this same direction and same speed you can also replace with simple same velocity. Okay, with same speed, if no external force acts on it, okay? If no external force acts on it. First of all, this is written in your textbook, I have just copied it here, nothing else. Now coming to analysis of this one, very important. If a body is in state of rest, then until and unless I put some force in it, it is not going to move. If a body is in state of motion, until and unless I put some force on it, it is not going to stop. And this all state of rest and state of motion we have already explained earlier are based on reference frames, that is relative rest or relative motion. Okay, at this moment the camera is at state of rest with respect to my eyes. As soon as I move like this, I see the camera moving down in this side, opposite direction. Okay, so this is relative, as you can see. Camera hasn't changed its position, but while I am moving, with respect to me, camera has changed the position. So all this state of rest and state of motion we are talking about is relative state of rest and relative state of motion. Okay? So remember, there is no absolute state of rest or absolute state of motion. Clear? Now we have learnt no external force. Okay, bhai? Let's see whether this is true or not. Okay? Let's see. I am saying this is wrong statement. Why? Why? Because see, here is a body which is at rest, relative rest, V is equal to 0. I am putting a force of 5 Newton from this side, 5 Newton from this side, 2 Newton from this side and 2 Newton from this side. Here you can see, let us take this as F1, F2, F3, F4. You can see F1 and F2 are equal and opposite, so they are going to cancel each other. Similarly, F3 and F4 are equal and opposite, they are going to cancel each other. So at the end, ultimately, no force is acting on this body. No force means no net force. No net force. No net external force. So there should be an addition of a term which will be called as net. So when no net external force is acting on it. So this is the correct statement. I know your books have not given this net word, but that should have been there. So you can write it, no problems with it. Okay, clear? So I hope this part, the law, we have been clear with the law, right? The law is clear with us. Now next thing is, whenever we study a law, definitely we get something out of it. Okay, so as you can see, we have got this state of rest part and state of motion part. So this is an important thing that we have got from first law. Okay. Next thing is, we have got something about force. So there is some quantity which is force. Okay. So these two quantities we have learned. These two physical quantities. One may be a quantity, may not be. The other definitely is. So let us see. First thing we got from law of motion is called inertia. We got inertia. Now what is inertia? You can write down property by virtue of which a body tends to retain. Body tends to remain. You write remain. Property by virtue of which a body tends to remain at either state of rest or state of motion. Property by virtue of which a body tends to remain at state of rest or state of motion. Okay, that is called inertia. That is called inertia. Suppose I am standing like this, as you can see. Okay, so I am not moving anywhere, neither my body is falling. Why? This is due to an inherent property that I have within me is called inertia. You must be seeing some person who generally if they sit on a chair they never tend to move out of it, right? They will sit on the chair hours after hours like that. So that person has got high inertia. He doesn't want to move. Understood? And some people who will be always running here and there, sitting, standing like children, okay, they have got low inertia. Okay? So generally people with higher mass, you have seen in life, people with higher mass has higher inertia. एक बार बैठ गया तो बैठ गया, उठता ही नहीं है. Not to offend anyone, but that is the general phenomena, because you have to do some mehnat to get out of your chair. That's it. Force of gravity. Okay. So now let us come to inertia. You have written the definition, I hope. Coming to inertia, let's explain it. First of all, can inertia be measured? No, it can't be measured. Can't be measured. Whenever in physics something cannot be measured, it is called qualitative. Qualitative means you don't have any number to it. You cannot measure exactly इतना न्यूटन उतना न्यूटन, ऐसा कुछ नहीं कर सकते. But you can understand, you can get a feel, हाँ, this person has more inertia, this person has lesser inertia. That is it. ठीक है? So qualitative है. Now inertia depends on mass. Inertia depends on mass. ठीक है? The physical quantity on which inertia depends is mass. ठीक है? Physical quantity. Now mass is quantitative. Mass is quantitative. You can quantify mass, but you cannot quantify inertia. But you know that if mass is more, then inertia will be more. So as mass increases, inertia increases. Tab when I will become very heavy, when myself will become very heavy, my inertia will be much more. I am not going to move much then. Okay? At this moment I am moving here and there, but when my inertia is very heavy, I am going to stand like this. I am not going to move here and there. I am to stand like this and teach like this. Okay, this like that. Okay, understood? So if mass increases, inertia increases. Now we have to understand, physics means mathematics. So we have to understand by mathematics that how this is true. Okay? So let's see, here is a body of mass m and here is a body of mass small m. Capital M is more than m. Okay? In both the cases I put a force F, same force F. Okay? So when I am putting this force F in a mass, then definitely it is going to produce some acceleration. So force is equal to, I know force is equal to mass into acceleration. So let the acceleration produced here be capital A and let the acceleration produced in the smaller body is small a. Okay? Now if I do F by F, then I can write ma by ma, right? F and F will cancel out and I am going to get, I am writing here ma by ma is equal to 1. Clear? So here from I can write capital M by small m is equal to small a by capital A. So we can also see over here mass is inversely proportional to acceleration. Okay? Mass is inversely proportional to acceleration. That means higher the mass, lesser is the acceleration. Okay? Or acceleration is inversely proportional to mass. See here the mass is more in this case, but the acceleration will be lesser. Okay? Acceleration will be lesser. Okay? So this mass is proportional to this acceleration. ठीक है? This mass is proportional to this acceleration. Inversely proportional. जितना मास बढ़ाओगे उतना एक्सेलरेशन कम हो जाएगा. क्यों? क्योंकि फोर्स तो सेम है. If you increase this mass, acceleration will come down. So whenever your mass increases, acceleration will come down. Suppose I will take this one. This is very light. Okay, this is very light. So when this is falling, I am putting this force into it. Its acceleration is quite good. But if I take, okay, I have something over here. Okay, I need to put this. I have a very good thing. Okay. Yeah. Look at this. this is pure carbon steel. Okay, steel. This is quite heavy, mind you, very heavy. It's around 5-6 kgs that I am holding at this moment in my hand. So if I try to put some acceleration, it's very difficult to catch, guys. So if I try to put some acceleration, it is impossible. I cannot put force also in it. Okay, so this is very difficult to give some acceleration. Understood? So this was a heavier mass where giving acceleration was a challenge for me. So higher the mass, lesser was the acceleration. Clear, guys? Higher the mass, lesser was the acceleration. So what we get then? Higher mass, lesser acceleration. Higher mass मूवमेंट नहीं, मतलब लेसर एक्सेलरेशन. क्लियर? सो जितना मास ज़्यादा है उतना आपका इनर्शिया ज़्यादा होगा. क्लियर हो गया? सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट थिंग वी लर्न फ्रॉम योर फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ मोशन. Number 2, very important thing that we learn over here from first law of motion is force. What do we learn about force? We learn the definition of force from first law of motion. Definition of force. Please write it down. We learn the definition of force from the first law of motion. Now what is force? It is an external cause which tends to change the state of rest or state of motion. ठीक है? Clear? So this we have gone through many a times. This is the definition of force that we get from the first law. The formula of force, that is the quantitative part of force, can be derived from the second law. So when we will be studying second law, we will be doing that. Okay, clear? First law, we will go a little bit deep into inertia. Remember, the first law of motion is also called the law of inertia. So see, there are two kinds of inertia. One is inertia of rest. Next is inertia of motion. Inertia of rest means property by virtue of which I remain at rest or a body remain at rest. Please write down. Property by virtue of which a body tends to remain at rest. ठीक है? So a body is there. If I don't put any force, or I put a little bit of force, it will first resist my force. Equal and opposite, it will resist my force. So this resistance that they give me is basically inertia of rest. Suddenly the body doesn't go into the motion. So this is due to inertia of rest. ठीक है? Larger the mass of the body, more is the inertia of rest. Please write down. Larger the mass of the body, more is the inertia of rest. Now, as I can show you at this moment, this is a diary. At this moment rest, I can easily move it like this, right? But here is a bench. It's not easy to move. It takes some time. Okay. So this resistance of this bench, which is more to go into inertia of motion, is due to the higher inertia of rest of this bench, due to its higher mass. ठीक है? Next, inertia of motion is property by virtue of which a body tends to remain at state of motion. Example, a child is running towards me, I am trying to stop him. I can stop him easily. Okay, so from inertia of but he doesn't want to stop. Why? Because he doesn't want to come to inertia of rest. Now a big truck is coming towards me and I try to stop it. Everybody knows what is going to happen to the truck or myself, right? The truck's inertia of motion is not going to come to inertia of rest because of me. Okay, clear? Why? Because the truck has very large mass. Truck has very large mass. You cannot stop it easily. Its acceleration cannot be given by myself with a very small force. Force is same, mass is very large, acceleration will be very less. Acceleration means here retardation. दे ही नहीं पाएंगे हम उसको, इतना बड़ा मास है, उसके 0.1 मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर रिटार्डेशन देने के लिए मेरे को बहुत ज़्यादा फोर्स देना पड़ेगा, which I cannot give. It is always very hard to stop any moving body which is having larger mass. Clear? मोटे आदमी से मत लड़ो, ठीक है? So understood? So these are the two inertias that are important and which are there actually. Okay, now we are going to understand or do some examples on this inertia, which is very important in this chapter. This is a chair of a train. ठीक है? So I am sitting over here at this moment. थोड़ा सा ये मेरा लेग है बड़ा, ठीक है? I am sitting here. Now the train suddenly starts moving. Suddenly starts moving. What will happen? This part is going to move. Along with that, lower part of my body contact with train. It has contact with train. Goes to inertia of motion straight away. Goes to inertia of motion straight away. क्यों? It's in contact यार, तो contact में है, तो push किया तो ये भी चला गया. देखो क्या हो रहा है, देखो अभी देखो ऐसे मैं I am sitting on the chair, so train starts moving, चला गया, लेकिन upper part remains. So this upper part of body doesn't go to inertia of motion straight away. It will take some time. ठीक है? So this upper part of body leans backward. Why? Because it hasn't went to inertia of motion. It is still in inertia of rest. ये motion में चला गया, ये ऐसे चला गया, ठीक समझ गया? So that is why we tend to lean backwards when a train starts moving. ठीक है? And when the train is giving a sudden brake, then what happens? Just the opposite. Sudden brake means this is the way the train's acceleration or deceleration happens. Suddenly it stops. This lower part of the body which is in contact with the train comes to inertia of rest then and there, but the upper part doesn't. So क्या होता है, देखो ब्रेक मार दिया मतलब लोअर पार्ट ऐसे हो गया लेकिन अपर पार्ट उधर ही है, तो क्या होगा? आई विल लीन फॉरवर्ड. क्लियर? Using this concept you can understand all the inertia reasoning questions very easily. Like this, here is a carpet with some dust particle onto it. You beat it, what will happen? The carpet will move like this, which will come in contact with the stick, if you beat it with a stick or you beat it with a hand. But this dust particle will remain there and they will fall. It has gone to inertia of motion. Okay? But this has still inertia of rest. By gravity it will fall. It is no more being given any support by the carpet body. No normal reaction force. Okay? So it is going to fall. Clear? Carpet ka ho gaya. Same way you can also take the fruit hanging on a tree. If you jerk the tree, then the tree branches go into motion, but the fruit doesn't go into motion. So at the end of the day, what happens? The small, what do you call that in biology? I don't know. The small part of the tree that basically connects the fruit with the tree branch breaks and the fruit falls. So these are the various reasoning questions that you need to do, and it is very important. I am running with a very high speed. Suddenly somebody tells me to stop. It is not possible for me to stop straight away. Why? Because I cannot change my inertia of motion straight away to inertia of rest. It will take some time. Okay? It will take some time to change inertia of motion to inertia of rest. I am going to teach this in much more detail after I complete the force part, that is the second law. Okay? What is this time and how this velocity changes from high velocity to zero velocity. Okay? So I will take some time, right? So this similarly, if I am at rest, you say me to run directly to 100 meter per second, I cannot. I say 100 meter per second, I cannot run. That is a different thing altogether. It is not possible. Why? Because first I need to jog, I need to increase my speed a little bit. Dhire dhire I can go to that speed, right? Like when a bowler comes to bowl, his speed remains very low while he starts the run up. His speed becomes high while he is at the final point of bowling the ball. Clear? Okay? So that is how you are going to understand this concept. So I hope we have finished the first law. In our next class we will be doing the second law. Thank you.